Welcome back to Pro Sports.
On today's episode, we're going to be recapping the last couple weeks of the MLS season for the New England Revolution. To get into a little bit of other news other than New England, it kind of ties back to New England and how now a new team that has a former coach of ours is currently 2-0 for the start of the season. So, Aidan, what team is that, and what coach is currently coaching that said team?
Bruce Arena.
And what team is that?
San Jose.
Yeah. So San Jose currently
with Martinez, with Drago, with our Revolution players, with all the good players in the world. Yeah, Martinez as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very strong team, and they have a very strong coaching staff, and I think that's why they're so successful right now. And you're seeing the complete opposite once again from our team again. And I understand it's the first two games of the season, but we already had this kind of season last year, and it's already looking like it's going to be a repeat for our team. But we got to hope and see. We're going this weekend to the third game of the season, so we're hoping that they'll win. Because every time we go there, we've only been there once where they've lost severely. But most of their games, they've won whenever we're there, or tied. But we're going to go to the game on Saturday at Gillette. It's against who again, Aidan?
The Union.
Yeah, so we're going to be taking on the Union this Saturday.
If you guys want to come join us.
Heck yeah. That sounds like a fun deal to me. But we're going to, so let's get into New England. Because right now, they are, again, they're at the bottom of the table. Actually, they're 11th, I believe. Not 13th. 11th, right? Let's correct that. Let's make sure and double check. Yeah, they're 11th. So, now, Aidan. Except for Montreal. And Montreal's what record so far? Yeah. Well, anyways, we're not talking about Montreal. We're talking about New England. Now, New England, the last couple seasons, hasn't been the strongest team in the world. And last season, being under a new head coach, now basically have a brand new team, having 30 different transfers over the course of the last few months. And we have to think about it like in perspective of why these decisions were made. Why were these players put into place? And there's a number of reasons as to why coaches typically choose certain players over others. It's based off of how their tactics are, what what style of play they have. It's coming from somebody who has experience in coaching. In me, I coach JV at a high school for the boys soccer team, and I can't stress enough about ball security. And I saw some glimpses in the last game against Columbus. Or is it Nashville? Yeah, that they were showing some signs that they could. This team has potential, but my main concern is the way that they play and how they struggle to get up the field, and score goals. First of all, there wasn't a lot of shots on goal in that game. Did you see a lot, Aidan? Was there a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. There was only a few. There was way more from Columbus, and Columbus less on our side of the field, somehow. But yeah, no, I don't know. Aiden, do you have any thoughts?
Go win it.
Yeah, well, we gotta win it, because I could definitely see Caleb Porter getting booted after the first 10 games if we don't have a winning record. If he doesn't turn this team around, I would say sayonara to him in the first 10 games, because I'm done with his coaching staff. His coaching philosophy sucks. It's not what we're used to. We're used to our team at least being mid-table, not bottom of the table. Because our team for many years now has had numerous counts at getting to the cup, obviously not making it, but we need to find that spark, that team that'll actually take us all the way. And I don't think it is going to be with Caleb Porter. And I could be wrong. We could go back to this podcast later on down the line at the end of the season, and I can say for hardly that I'm wrong. But until I see change, I'm going to say right now, Caleb Porter is not the answer. If he can turn around and blow my mind and turn around and win 5 more games and be top 8, then honestly, I would be fine with that. But until I see at least a top 8 placement, he's not going to be a good coach in my book. And it just shows that Bruce Arena had that much of an impact on our team when he was here. Is that now he's at San Jose and he's currently first place in the West. I mean, if that doesn't show how good Bruce Arena was as a coach, I don't know what does. Because you look at Bruce Arena and we were winning, we were top 5 the seasons he was here. We look with Caleb Porter, we're bottom 5 or bottom of the table. And you can't argue facts. But so Aidan, another thing I wanted to ask you is we were watching the game this past weekend. I have to say the defense has improved. I think that's the biggest improvement on the team is their defense. So, what are your thoughts on our defense?
Pretty good. And probably like the number 3 or number 2 defense in the league.
I don't know what the stats are, but they have let in 1 goal and have no goals for us yet at the moment in 2 games. But the defense has shown a lot of improvement since the last couple of seasons. I think this is probably one of our better defenses we've had. Considering that we only let in 1 goal the last game, and it was only a 1-0 loss, and it was really close pretty much the whole game, right? Now let's talk about. Go ahead.
Wait. Let's talk about what I did yesterday.
Oh yeah, we can definitely talk about that. So, my co-host over here, Aidan, you can tell him. Go ahead, Aidan. You tell him what you did last night.
I went to a meeting. I talked to the mayor and the superintendent and talk about our program and talk what we do and talk about the muffin.
Yeah, so he did a chili cook-off. Was it a little like competition with his 18 to 22 program with other schools, and he did a speech at our town hall for the school board meetings, and he ended up doing a reading off a paper of things that he wrote down to the mayor and all of the school board. So it's a pretty good achievement, Aidan, right? You have to say, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got out there and talked to people, especially online. It was live. This is the city of where we live, and I think that's a cool achievement. And so you have me on that. I'm so proud of you, Aidan, and good job.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So let's continue on. That's good. That's a good branch off. I forgot to mention about that. So yeah, let's get into now our thoughts on Campana's performance. What do you think he did? How do you think he did? Maybe why? Maybe what you think he could have done better? And then maybe any other offensive player that you think had a good performance.
Campana was good, a little bit, but he needs to. If he gets really good at New England, he will pass the ball more.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that we had a problem with up front in that game is we didn't have enough what's the word, production up there. I think it was just the fact that we couldn't get enough inside the box. Their defense was very good too. That game was a lot of about like who's going to be the better defense.
And Columbus definitely took us on that.
But it was a good game. Don't get me wrong. It was, you could definitely see the improvement of the team. It's very demoralizing to see that you go 0-0 tie first game and then lose 1-0 after, and then you go down one, after how long now, after like after the 60th minute or something like that. It was really far into the game that they eventually scored, but it was a good game overall. I think the biggest player of the game, by far, I think,
Was Yusuf, simply because of the fact that he was very productive out there and he was getting the ball out and pinging the ball all the way around the field to people. I wish I saw a little more of Langoni, but you know, you can't get the ball to somebody who doesn't want to be open.
I think he could have done more. But he also never really got the ball. He struggled to get that ball, and that was our biggest issue, is giving the ball to Langoni, because I think Langoni would have been the way to go to getting up the field, and that's what we struggled to, is getting the ball up that field, ultimately. And I think hopefully that'll be an improvement that they'll approve upon for next game against the Union. And yeah, have any final thoughts, Aidan?
Revolution, let's ride, and then hurrah.
Hurrah! And that's all we have for you guys this week. Stay tuned in for next week, for our next episode of Bro Sports, to go talk about the Union game and what our thoughts were when we went to the game. And we'll probably do a little bit of a recording. I'll even record a little bit to show proof that we were actually at that game. And I'll just record just a little bit of audio of the game and, what our reactions are. So you guys will hear a little bit of that in that next episode. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Bro Sports. I'm your host, Corey Raftery.
Aidan host, Aidan Raftery.
And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.